Hello my friends and welcome back to Monsters of Folklore. Today we're going to be going to the Himalayan mountains to see what we can find up there. You may have heard about this certain creature called the Abominable Snowman, aka the Yeti. And today I will be telling you what the Yeti is, its physical description, personality, and just things like that. And let's just get right into the video. Let's get right into it, Now, a Yeti is a large ape-like creature that dwells deep in the snowy wasteland of the Himalayan mountains. Local people and mountaineers have been telling stories about this creature for centuries, but most people remain skeptical about the creature's existence. Despite the fact that its local name is, as always, I cannot pronounce this whatsoever, but it looks like it's Mito Kangmi. I probably butchered that whole word. But it means man-bear. The Yeti is described as a giant ape-like creature. Before we even get any further, you could probably describe this thing as the man-bear pig from South Park, because that's about where I see this going. But it walks on two legs and has a primate face with small ears, a flat nose, and long fangs. Shaggy fur ranging from reddish-brown to white in color. It covers its body. Its enormous footprints resemble bare human feet. So, you could probably describe this with Bigfoot and things of that nature, but this one's just, I guess it's like the Bigfoot of the Himalayas. Now, few people have encountered the Yetis in the wild. Even fewer people have encountered that lasted more than a few seconds. Given their elusive nature, it's tough to pin down the Yeti's personality, other than to say they don't like to be seen by us. Although they certainly aren't friendly towards humans, it's possible that these abominable snowmen are actually social creatures. Local people tell stories of that one certain name of the man bear in tribes, and many witnesses have reported seeing two or more creatures together. So what they're saying is that it could be more than one Yeti at one time, but the whole population, we don't know. Now at the same time, local legends claim that no one who sees the wild man will live. They are highly territorial and can turn violent in a second if they think you pose a threat to the way of life. Now this will be kind of hard to, I guess, explain, because they say you can't, if you see them, it's for a few seconds. But at the same time, if you see them, they could probably try and kill you. So I'm not sure really how people came to this conclusion. But now some local tradition. Now the Himalayan natives in Nepal, Tibet and China and other places all share legend about a wild man or a man bear who lives in the mountain wilderness. So what they're saying is it could just be a man in the woods, basically, or a man in the wilderness, pretty much, who lives in the mountain wilderness. Some groups like the Lepchi and Bon people worship the mysterious being and are even reported to have used its blood in special rituals. But it's tribes and rituals. But then at there, it's really hard to tell, because you got one people saying you barely see it. There's some people that say they do see it and it will kill you. Then you got some people who claim to have seen it, and then they use its blood for special rituals. So I guess it's a toss-up. Maybe different places, different stories, I guess. But then other people, like the Sherpas, tell stories about the monster raiding their villages or attacking children who wander into the wild. Now, in Western popularity, in 1921, a British expedition into the Himalayas led by Charles Howard brought the Yeti to the Western world's attention for the first time. Howard told a reporter that he had seen monstrous footprints in the snow. The reporter, in turn, nicknamed the mysterious creature who had left these footprints the Abominable Snowman. In 1950, the first Yeti photos were taken by Eric Shipton during an attempt to climb Mount Everest, although the photographs only captured the creature's footprints and not the creature himself. So this is kind of like the Himalayan Bigfoot is what this is. But they were enough to make the Yeti famous overnight. Now that was just the footprints of this creature. Now during the 1950s again, almost every Western explorer who ventured into the Himalayas brought back tales of the Yeti. So pretty much just for fame and recognition. Because some of them brought back evidence too, like photographs of shaggy bipedal creatures in the distance, plastic molds of giant footprints, and even samples of reddish hair. And by the 1957, expeditions were being funded specifically to search for the Yeti. These produced more photos, hair, and even feces or shit. So, it's a toss-up here. It's just, in my opinion, it's just people going out there and trying to get their name out saying they had an encounter with the Yeti. Yeah, I just really don't believe it. But then in the 1960s, the Yeti evidence began getting kind of grislier and nasty. Explorers were smuggling whole body parts out of the Himalayas. We're talking about fingers, hands, and even a scalp that was supposed to belong to the elusive monster itself. So people were taking this pretty far to try and prove that the Yeti existed by somehow, I do not know where they got these body parts from, but that just tells me they killed somebody and cut them up and is bringing their body down the hill. Now, native folklore can be explained as, cautionary tales meant to keep children from wandering into the wild or approaching, wild animals. And photographs can be dismissed or hoaxes or cases of mistaken identity. But what about all the bits of fur and bone that explorers have collected over the years? That goes back to telling you what my theory was that came from. But now, faced with concrete evidence that the Yeti might exist, scientists have begun coming forward to examine hair, feces, bone, and skin samples. Most of the samples have been attributed to known animals like brown bears, yaks, Langren monkeys, blue bears, or even humans, which I said earlier, but some of them stand up to, genetic testing. Scientists have either found no match for the samples, indicating that they might have come across an unknown species, or have matched the samples to an ancestor of the polar bear. So, all in all, they might just be seeing like some kind of form of a polar bear, basically, which was previously thought to be extinct. So, all in all, in my opinion, I think the Yeti could be a polar bear. But no, however, damage to samples could also explain these seemingly positive results. Until like a full Yeti carcass, or better yet, a living Yeti, is produced for scientists to study, this abominable monster will probably remain a secret of the Himalayas forever. Which that just comes down to my opinion that, yeah, the Yeti would be cool if it kind of was real, but the way I see it, the Yeti is kind of like a modern day Bigfoot. Because I'm not sure when, I'll probably do a video on Bigfoot too, but I'm not sure when people started seeing, the Bigfoot creature here in America and all that stuff. But it could just be the polar bear, more than likely that's what it might be, because if they thought it was extinct back then, maybe just like a polar bear wandering around or something. But you gotta think about it, people was actually chopping up people and bringing their body parts down the hill just to try to get, in my opinion, recognition, to say, hey, look what I found. Which if you done that, yeah, there's something wrong with you in general. But everybody, what is your opinion on the Yeti or the Abominable Snowman? What do you think of this elusive wild creature in the woods, or I mean not the woods? I keep getting stuck on the other monsters I've talked about. But what's your take on the Yeti? Tell me what you think. But as always, everybody, I go by Monsters of Folklore, but if you want to subscribe, drop a like, comment your whole life history, and I'll see you later.